Hello, everyone, and welcome to Elevate Your Business. I'm Ed Jarecki, and I'm thrilled to guide you through today's episode. It's designed to inspire and empower you on your journey to business success. Today, we're honored to have the CEO of OLAS Surfing Technologies with us, Diego Cornejo Rodríguez. Diego is a pioneer in artificial wave technology for surf parks. His mission? To make surfing accessible to everyone, regardless of their location, by developing customizable and reliable wave environments. Diego is tapping into a rapidly growing $130 billion surfing industry, where he and his team have a goal of establishing 100 surf parks in the next 20 years. Along with their flagship park being developed in the beautiful Quito, Ecuador, at an altitude of 8,300 feet, they are creating incredible experiences sure to attract surfers and vacationers from around the world. Join us as Diego shares his vision for the future of surfing and the innovations that are transforming this beloved sport. So let's welcome Diego Rodriguez to the show. Diego, it's wonderful to see you again. How are you doing?
Hi, Ned. Thank you so much for a wonderful introduction. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing incredibly well. You just have an amazing project. Could you share a little bit more about yourself and your business?
Yes, sure thing. Well, this business actually started from surfing trauma. I was telling the story because when I grew up in Peru. I'm actually from Ecuador, but my parents had a job in Peru and we lived for 10 years there where I learned to surf. And then I became a surfer until I was 16. And I was already competing, all my friends surfers, being in the ocean all the time. Suddenly, my parents came back to Quito, and Quito is surrounded by mountains, 6 hours from the coast. So I had to stop surfing, and I didn't realize it back then, but it grew into some sort of trauma, I call it, right? Losing your beloved sport. So when technologies about artificial surfing, the new technologies, because there used to be technologies 30 years ago, but these new technologies started to show, I really felt an inner call, right? And then my first reaction was to try to invest in one of these technologies. And it kept me busy looking everything that was going on back then. This is on 2017, right? And a year later, the story is longer, but I'll try to shorten. I became friends with John Baxendale, who was a surfer from the UK, who was actually an awarded scientist. He had 3 awards from the Queen of England. And John had patented something to create waves. So the money I was trying to invest finally reached John's pockets, and I purchased the patent, right? He was selling it because he started this when he was 65. When he retired, 8 years later, and then unfortunately got Parkinson. That's the reason why he was selling it. And from then on, it was just an amazing adventure. We had to put together a team, mostly engineers. I am not an engineer, but I have always been good with inventions and do it yourself kind of thing. And in 5, 6 years, we have built 56 wave pools at a 1/10 scale. We've actually built one at a real scale, 1-to-1. We have tested 4 different engineerings for generation and, well, all the technicalities. But that is basically the background where we are at now, creating a new patent, a team of 11 people, over 20 family and members supporting.
And so you own the patent at this particular point, and you've got a park that you're ready to build in Quito, 8,300 feet. What an experience. And can you talk just a little bit about that park and what it has with it?
Yes. So in this industry, these pools cost from 12 million to $30 million, right? So it's not an easy project. And to create a surf park, you have to invest 30 to 40, $50 million. And normally projects come along with development, whether real estate or hotel, resort and restaurants and all of that. So very soon we figured out that we needed one real size pool to show our tech. No one is going to invest $15 million in something that still in a small prototype. And that is why we decided to do a surf park. And since the whole team, the technical team was in Quito already, labor is cheaper here. We know our ways here, permits, we have the providers, the engineering. So we decided to make a project here. And it turns out that there is a market enough for the business. And so 3 years ago, we decided on that roadmap, and we are like 4 months short to have our permits ready so we could start construction right away. And it's a beautiful project, 62-room hotel, 2 restaurants. We also, besides the surf pool, we have a wakeboard lagoon. And our focus is going to be on education, surfing education. We're going to go from school to an academy. And then over the years, our aim is to become a high performance center because we want to export that to other surf parks. Quito is going to be the first one, but then the company wants to open parks everywhere in the world.
Outstanding. Love it. So it's really going to be a destination with a lot of different activities, adventures that people can explore. Multiple surfers can go either side of it. If I recall from the designs, you can surf from either side of the pool. So just absolutely an amazing park. So I wish you all the best in accomplishing that project and the 99 behind it that you've got planned.
Yeah.
So when you consider success, how do you define success today?
Oof. It's wow. That's a huge question. I'll say I also come from the spiritual evolution, spiritual ascension world, and sometimes the two worlds, the spiritual world, the inner world, meditation, trying to find oneness, the peace of whatever you want to call love, God, the universe. Sometimes it's very difficult to integrate with the business world. Normally the business world does not allow you to go within. Normally gets you without outside. And so I'll describe success like having a balance, like being peace no matter what. So what you do is trying to go to the world and see the spirit in everything you do and see oneness and invite from there. But sometimes it is hard, and that is part of the training, I think. So that is the training opportunity for you to get everything in the consciousness of that oneness beyond sometimes these difficulties and competition and separation and conflict. So I'll say the peace that comes from that kind of awareness is success for me. And then, of course, there's money, and you have investors. You have to be very responsible with investors and partners and your other founders and society in general. Our project is a project related to sports, and I think this is great for the world. And also tourism and fun and vacations, and we're going to have spaces for people who would like to learn to surf in 20 days. Learning to surf in a wave pool is much faster and easier than in the ocean. And with the right techniques and the right trainers and the right boards and everything, you will experience something great that changes lives, actually. So our focus is in providing that happiness, that peace of mind to people, and that is success for me.
So if I was to summarize that for our audience, it would be a balance of life balance, spirituality, as well as business and continuing to achieve business goals. Is that a fair way to say that?
Yeah, that's it.
And of course, these journeys are always wrought with challenges. What are one or two and the lessons learned that you could pass along to our audience?
Well, many lessons learned. So when this project started, it was just a bunch of enthusiasts, most of them, if not all of them, doing sweat equity, falling in love with the project and falling in love with science because this is a science and engineering project. Bunch of nerds, working all the pandemics, afternoons until very late at night, all the weekends, actually building things that, under an hypothesis. And once we reached the proof of concept at the level of science and engineering, we thought that the investors would be lining up to get what we had, and that wasn't the reality. So we have an expression in Latin America that translates to like I felt like a donkey sitting in front of a piano, you know. So then we had to become venture capital experts, and that has taken like accelerators and studying a lot, and many points we thought that we would not make it. We still have not signed the big funds. And we see the statistics, a lot of companies that have taken for 6, 7 years, they normally don't make it. But in our case, it's different because those 5, 6 years is what normally takes to just build a surf park. We have made in 6 years both a surf park, but a technology to build surf parks. So when we look at it from that perspective, that's a huge achievement. So the lesson learned would be not to assume anything, and you always need to be humble that you don't know all the things. So when that donkey now is playing a little bit of Bach and Mozart, we are becoming good also with VCs, of course, with the help of, we're studying a lot.
The other things that I take away from your message is the need to persevere. And what drives that perseverance is passion.
Yes.
So you've got a love for surfing. You've got a love for the new technologies to make this actually sustainable. So it's much, much more energy efficient. And if I recall correctly, you've got like 9 competitive advantages of your current surf park technology than the leading competitor out there right now. And so with that, the passion, the drive, that is something that for all business owners, it's really a necessary component of success. Is that a fair way to express that?
Yes. Yes, this is something that we had an advantage because, the initial patent has led to, just like you said, 9 competitive advantages over the leader and some even more from compared to other 8 competitors. And the perseverance is there because of our passion and because of our responsibility also. There's so much invested in this company that we cannot now quit, of course. And there's no reason because as we move forward with that passion, with that perseverance, and with that hard work, of course, it takes a lot of work. Thankfully, we have had the support of people, like the cousin and the friend and the new person who hears about it and is related to surfing or to wakeboard. And he says, look, here's my 2 cents. And with that little money, we get to progress. And as we progress, we just get better. So inside of us, there's this just, how do you say, certainty that we're gonna make it soon, very, very soon, and then all of our mentors are saying, this is the hardest part now. The hardest part is when family and friends' money is running out, and then you need to do a huge leap into the big funds and start working with the VC and then acquiring these responsibilities. But then you have the resources. And then once you have the first pool, it's just a matter of organizing. And well, that is another thing. The management is, of course, has a lot of pitfalls and a lot of conflicts as well, but that will be a different thing.
And so moving to the conversation around innovation, this is an incredibly innovative park. We've talked about it before. And also I want to note the fact that this is already a growing industry and with over 3 million more surfers every year. Do I have that number correct?
Yeah, Yeah,
And what
it's
you're able to do with your park is actually even accelerate and expand that growth because of the locations in which you can place this technology. So there's really an immense opportunity to not only take advantage of, surfing this positive wave, but also creating more waves. So leverage a little bit of metaphor in that.
see, excellent question. The thing is that we have nine competitive advantages and the innovation that we have reached. And I wanted to make a parenthesis here because not having all the resources as a startup sometimes forces you to be so creative, because we have had a lot of time when our resources are gone and we don't have any resources for 2 months. And then you just, I don't know what happens inside your mind, but you just get new solutions and think new ideas and just go deeper into the innovation. And actually, three of our nine competitive advantages, we do not want to disclose. So we called it the F, M, and R variables because we just wanted to be disclosed once our first park is there. And that is part of the innovation, right? Yeah, we have 40 million surfers now. It's a super attractive sport. It's inspirational, aspirational. It's a sport that once you try it successfully, then you're hooked for life. When you really feel the power of a wave, when you get to stand on a wave and surf it, something happens with your soul. You just want to do it. And that's the fun thing because, first of all, you stay in shape doing what you love. So I have a lot of friends. Quito, for instance, is considered a fitness city. Lots of sports people here. And we don't have the water. So we are aiming to fulfill that. Our surf pools normally have a maximum capacity. We if you compare to paddle, for instance, or you in the States have the pickleball. Pickleball, I believe it's growing at 20% rate every year. Surfing is growing at 12% every year. And with the appearance of surf parks, where the learning curve is so much faster and safer, you don't have sharks, jellyfish, rocks, it's safer. You have lifeguards, you have your friends watching, the family watching. So it's fun. I think it's gonna grow very, very fast.
So if there was one takeaway you could offer our audience that they really must consider as part of their life and business success, what would that be?
I think every person has a different path. So I don't think there's an advice that fits everyone, but I would say try to find that balance in whatever you do. If you have an 8 to 5 job, do it and find that balance and peace. And sometimes for some people, just be grateful for what you have, and that's going to be peace and happiness. Sometimes, like what happened to me is that I had a mission, and this mission has involved a lot of pain as well, and a lot of imbalance and a lot of conflict as well in the road. But I have persevered. So for some people, it would be good to persevere and to follow your passion. And I had to leave it all. I had to leave it all. And I have had it in many times of the project in these 7 years. I have come to some points where I was like, okay, should I continue this path or not? And the balance was unfair. My passion was so much higher. So it wasn't really a decision. I just had to keep going to where we are now.
Yes.
So maybe for those who need to hear this, that would be my advice.
It's not easy. Each one of us has a different balance, but our
Yes.
passion needs to guide us because that's the only way that we're going to persevere to get to that ultimate pinnacle of business success.
And something else is just wanted to make an invitation. If someone is watching this video and feels connected, that we are in a phase where everyone is welcome. And if you want to invest a little bit, go ahead with it. it's going to come multiplied many times. And if you want to contribute in some other way that you can, or if you want to open a surf park, give us a call and we'll start planning.
Wonderful message. Any final thoughts?
No, thank you. I felt so comfortable talking to you, and I just feel passionate. My team is a great team. It's people that are very ethical, very nice people to work with, very professional as well. And no, just talking on their behalf also to convey their work that they are doing.
Thank you so much. I want to thank you all for joining us today with a special thank you to Diego Cornejo Rodríguez for sharing his insights and success tactics with us. We hope you feel inspired and motivated to tackle entrepreneurial challenges with innovation and adaptability. Remember, success is personal. Define it for yourself. But always remember to embrace change, seek growth, and adapt to the ever-evolving business landscape. Thanks again to Diego and to all of our listeners, and we'll see you next time as we continue exploring more stories from incredible entrepreneurs. Stay resilient, stay innovative, and have a wonderful day, everyone.